Gypsy friends. I'm Syretta.
I'm Nikki. And we're your favorite sisters.
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
Welcome back if you're returning.
We're so happy that you're here.
So we have actually a really fun video for you guys. And it's all thanks to this woman. So we have been flirting with the idea of doing like a beginner's guide to Black romance. But Syretta said, why be basic when we can elevate it? So we are going to give you 4 genres of our choosing randomly. We haven't really decided what genres will be next. So if you guys have any ideas, let us know what your favorite romance is or romance genre is. But after we give you the beginners, you will get the intermediate and advanced, because with everything, there's levels to it. And Black romance is no different.
So for us, we are really just romance junkies. We love romance. And I don't feel like we put ourselves in a box. We like everything, but we always, as in life, right? You have things that are your favorite. So what are your 2 favorite top genres of all times?
That is so hard. If I had to pick, off the top of my head, right in this moment.
Okay.
Because she didn't tell me we were doing this. I would say dark romance and contemporary romance, because a lot kind of falls under contemporary, I think. Okay. What about you? I already know what it is.
Hands down, historical romance is top tier. Top tier. Favorite, and then urban.
Yes.
I am an urban girly.
I love how random and opposite, you can't be put into a box.
I refuse.
Period. So with that in mind, we decided we will bring the 4 genres to you guys and start with our beginner's guide to Black romance.
But you have to remember, this is our guide. Our levels are different from others. There might be things that I think is beginner and she's like, Syretta, he kidnapped his mama. And I'm like, okay. And that's low key. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has their own versions of what is a beginner situation. So these are our beginners. And we're hoping that it helps you. It helps guide you through these, romance streets.
Yes. And keep in mind, as you said, these are ours. We're probably going to have different books, obviously. But also, just because we're saying it's beginner to us, does not mean that the stories lack depth, greatness, spice, or anything. There's just levels to it, and these are our levels.
I feel like it's a light introduction. If I would have found these books first, that would have been perfect for me to get into the genre.
Yep.
You can go first.
Okay, so historical romance is the genre. What do you think historical romance is the definition of it?
I would say a historical romance is a part, and it's a story in a certain time frame that brings in real life issues. That's what I would consider historical romance.
I really thought you was going to romanticize it and pump it's a man of a different time, and they were gentlemen, and they built their sheds for you to live in. I really thought you were going to go there.
I am when it's my turn.
Oh.
When you ask me what I think it is, I'm going to tell you what it is. Okay, I'm waiting for my turn.
That's what I was asking.
So what do you think it is?
Just a romance set in the past.
Ooh, you sound like a hating ass bitch.
That's what it is to me. But again, historical romance is not one of my favorite genres. Have I read it and read it well and really enjoyed it? Yes. But that's never my go-to in a romance bookstore. My first slot is not the historical, where that's where Syretta would go. I'd be at the opposite end. But according to Google, the definition of a historical romance is a genre of fiction where romance is the central plot line and the story is set in a specific historical period. It focuses on the development of a romantic relationship between the main characters while incorporating elements of the chosen historical era.
I was right.
Okay. You were right. So what is your beginner's guide book?
Okay, you guys, there's no way you can talk historical romance, historical fiction, anything without starting with the queen, baby. You have to start with the queen. You guys, this is Miss Beverly Jenkins. She is phenomenal. She is a wonderful author. I don't care if you are at the beginning stages or at your advanced stages, you're going to love her writing. She has something for everyone. The story that I'm talking about right now is forbidden, you guys. This story is just wonderful. It is my favorite. You want to talk about a man loving your elbows? Baby, that's him. Okay, this is him. You guys, this story is set in the Nevada territories. You guys, it's right after slavery has just been abolished. I mean, you guys, when I tell you that this story was so wonderful, like, I mean, you're still struggling. Everything is still segregated. You're still half a man. But baby, when you are willing to, I can't, I'm gonna cry. This story is amazing. This story is amazing. She stood on big business with him and didn't give a fuck, okay? She is a true lady, and he was a true man, you guys. This story, it is the perfect thing to start with, you guys. It is perfect. It is book 1 in a series. It is a perfect read. You are going to love it. When I tell you that the way that this man loves, okay, I'm telling you, I've been telling Nikki to read it for so long. And when she finally does, I'm waiting for this bitch to be humble.
Okay. Mine is Confessions in B Flat by Donna Hill. As I stated, I don't read too many historical romances. So I had a list of like 6 books to pick from.
But this is a really good one to start with.
But out of all those 6, I do think this is a really good one. I was telling Sil, like, I don't have any books but the Black series. And she started naming off books I read. And I was like, oh, you're right. I forget that it doesn't have to just be in the 1800s and things. Like, the 1950s is the past. That is a historical romance. Mm-hmm. So that's when I came to Confessions in B Flat by Donna Hill. This one I think is a really good introductory because it is set in the past. Obviously, you're conquering racism and, you know, all those harsh topics, but it's not as in the past. You know, it's not as aggressive or as in your face, but it's still there, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it well, but it's set during the civil rights movement, and it is a civil rights love story. And when we picked this when this got picked for book club, I was like, oh, here we go. But it was actually very good. It was very romantic. It was very realistic. Like, I feel like I can see how my parents and my grandparents lived through this book and the struggles of coming from 2 different ideologies and finding a way to try and make that work, because you have one character who follows Dr. King's ideology and then another who follows Brother Malcolm X's ideology, and how you're all fighting for the same thing, but how you came to that conclusion completely differently. I thought it was elegantly written. I thought that, again, while it's heartbreaking, tragic things are happening and it's so real, it was an easier thing to swallow than some of the other historical romances I have read, if that makes sense. And because it's not set too far in the past, I feel like for someone who, as I do, struggles with historical romance, you can feel it. Like, I know someone who was there kind of situation. Mm-hmm. It just made it a little more, I don't want to say realistic, because the other historical romances I've read as well were realistic to the time. But again, it feels like I can have a conversation with my dad and he could be like, yeah, I remember when that happened. So it just feels more like in touch with my personal life, if that makes sense. So I think Confessions in B Flat, and it also was very sweet and romantic and soft.
Yeah, it was soft.
A very good introductory into historical romance.
Okay, you guys. So I feel like we should kind of give a little something for our actual picks, right? So I believe that historical romance is like true love. I feel like men were men at that time. Mm-hmm. I really feel like women got to be soft because they got to be at home and be the mother and to love on the children, and the father or the husband go out and work. I know, because I am the way that I am, like I cuss like a fucking sailor. Nobody could believe that I'm a traditional.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Just a traditional lady. But I am, and that's what I feel about historical romances. Like, even if they're in like a hard time where, you happen to be a slave and he is a white man, like, they were willing to do whatever to be together. And I just felt like no matter what it was, he was willing to do what he had to do to have her. So to me, that is why I love historical romance. Like, it's soft without being soft. Because I don't like that mushy shit. But it's still soft. When it's your turn, you can say whatever you feel.
Well, as far as the historical romances that I have read, I can say I know what you mean. There was a ruggedness to the man. Like, again, I built the shed, so we're gonna live in it.
Bitch, we're not living in a shed.
What is it called? I built
A
the house.
cabin.
A cabin. Thank you. That was the word, the cabin. I built a cabin for us to live in. I'm gonna protect and provide for you. I'm gonna protect you spiritually, physically, emotionally. Like, I'm gonna provide. I can understand that. It is very attractive. So I see the appeal. It's just never going to be my first thought unless certain authors write it, because I know I love their writing. I'm not necessarily diving into the genre, if that makes sense.
Okay, that does. What's next?
So we have contemporary romance, which was obviously my pick. What are your thoughts on contemporary? What do you think it means?
I feel like contemporary just means like regular love. I don't want to say regular, but like that's what I think when I think romance. I always automatically go to a contemporary situation. So I just feel like contemporary is a true romance umbrella.
I agree. That's kind of why I think it is one of my favorite genres, because I do associate it with, okay, you're reading a romance and it's not so clearly this is contemporary. But to be fair, I actually don't know what contemporary means. So you know how like you have contemporary dance and things like that? I don't know what actually constitutes contemporary. But in my head, when it comes to romance, it is just the genre. So,
well, I feel like isn't the word contemporary like contempt?
I don't know.
I don't know, girl. I'm making up some damn. Don't ask me to lie.
Let's see what Google says. Contemporary romance is a romantic subgenre that features love stories set in modern times, encompassing events after World War II up into the present.
Interesting.
That is interesting. These novels often explore complexities of modern relationships, real-life issues, and how people navigate their romantic lives in a contemporary world. Okay, so we were kind of right.
Yes. Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So my contemporary pick for beginners is Hot for the Teacher by Monique Fisher. This was actually my first book by Monique Fisher, and it was perfect. It was layered. It was complex. It did have the older woman, younger man trope with the added drama of him technically working at the school her child goes to. But it was romantic. It was this woman who had been divorced for 8 years. Her ex-husband did her wrong. Like, she's successful, very successful. She comes from a successful family. But she's kind of like at that point in her life where she's just a mom and she's just working and she's just existing. And she meets this man who she's like, he's too young. But he's everything that she wants. And they have to navigate those streets of him being younger, her being more successful, or not more successful, I shouldn't say that, but her making more money and having more money is what I should say. Him teaching at her child's school, just all those things, and how it is going to be perceived by the people around her, and not necessarily that she needs their permission, but she's worked hard for who she is and where she is in life, and she doesn't want that to be taken from her. As we know, as women, any little thing, it's on you. It doesn't matter that you're the victim. It does not matter that you're just existing and it takes two people to tangle. You're the one that is going to be judged harshly. And I think she had like all that in mind. And Nathan, he just loved her through it. He was understanding, and he was a man, and he was sweet, and he was there for her. Like, he was her soft landing. And I think that what was so beautiful about the story, her realizing it was finding her soft landing, her safe place in a world where you think all these people are, but they're not. And it's not the same thing. It was romantic, and I feel like this is a great beginner's guide to contemporary because it covered so much while still keeping it light and angst-free. Like, it had angsty things, but it wasn't exhausting. It wasn't draining. It was moving and beautiful, and I truly loved it. And who doesn't love a single mom romance?
Girl, I love them. I love them. I haven't read this actually, so I'm gonna have to give it a shot.
It's so good, and Nathan is such a good teacher. And like the representation of having a black teacher, like a black man, it was beautiful, and it was beautifully written. Like, I truly love this story. I highly recommend Monique Fisher for contemporary romance, like, altogether. What you got?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to do as good as you. Like, baby, you were giving read this book, okay? So I'm gonna try to do the same thing, okay?
You know you're the best at this.
I'm
so
not,
don't
baby.
even
It's
try.
you for me. It's you for me. Okay, so when I think contemporary, I think soft. I think light. Obviously, there's gonna be drama, but I just think like, pretty girl energy. And this is the story that I chose, you guys.
That's
it is hashtag relationship goals by Miss CCJ. You guys, this story was so cute to me. It shows how the world can play into something. Like, social media is so big right now, and I felt like she did a great job adding that into the story. And it makes total sense about contemporary romance being like love in this actual time frame, because it just fits everything perfect. One moment being caught by someone else that had nothing to do with the moment blew this completely out of proportion, you guys.
This book is so cute. You did a good pick.
Thank you. This story is wonderful, you guys. It's so contemporary that it can make your cheeks hurt, like, because you're smiling so much. Like, this is the perfect beginner story, not only just to contemporary romance, but to CCJ herself.
Yeah.
Like, this is the perfect story, you guys. Like, I kind of feel like he fell first. This is one of those, like, she's got her own career and he's also got his own career, and you're willing to just do whatever for each other. And it just fits as contemporary to me. Like, it's a long distance situation. It's a chance encounter. Like, everything about it is contemporary romance to me. Like, I think this is the perfect beginner story. If I could put this in a in a time capsule, I feel like it will last forever. This story is so
and
timeless. It is perfect, you guys. I really think that if you are looking for a beginner intro into contemporary romance, baby, you must. And it's on audio.
So, to piggyback off Syretta, contemporary romance to me is a warm embrace of a romance. It's just, that's it. It's sweet, it's loving, it does not lack drama by any means, but it's a warm embrace. Like, you can always find that sweet wholesomeness in a contemporary romance, I feel like. You agree?
I agree.
On to the next. Okay, so let's talk urban romance.
You guys, I love urban romance down. Like, I just love it. And not to be confused with struggle love, okay?
Never that.
Because a lot of times when you hear people say, like, oh, you like urban, they're like, oh, it's struggle love. Bitch, ain't nothing struggling about it, okay? Ain't nothing to struggle about it, okay? No. I do like when it is a little bit more street, it is a little bit more hood. I feel like the love just seems different, especially when you're coming from the same situation. Baby, when you don't have nothing and he don't have nothing, but he giving you the nothing he has. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And when she's like sassy and she ain't no punk ass bitch, I just love it. I just love it.
So what do you think the definition of urban romance is?
The definition I think of urban romance, I feel like because we're asking Webster, we're asking him, it's gonna be like,
this is Google.
Okay, well, Google. I feel like it's going to be love in a city.
Yeah, but what is your definition?
So my definition would be like two characters from maybe the same background that are dealing with a lot, and they're just trying to, get to the top. Yes, sometimes they might sell it, do a little extra, but you got to get it how you live. So urban romance to me is getting it how you live.
That sounds like you. That sounds like you. Yeah. So, hot take, not for nothing. I think urban romance and dark romance are the same thing, just so differently. Hot take. But to me, urban romance is, like you said, just a man loving a woman and existing. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You got to take out because you did this. You gotta own, your territory. Things like that.
You gotta eat.
You gotta eat, and sometimes they eating well. And they have to do some illegal things to eat so well. But you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. According to Google, urban romance is a romantic fiction subgenre set in a city environment, often highlighting urban life and relationships. It can encompass various themes and styles, including exploring the struggles and realities of city living, as well as featuring supernatural or magical elements in a modern setting.
So, baby, I know my genre.
You do. You're good at this.
So, with that being said, I'm going to give you guys one that I feel like is the perfect, beginner set to get into urban romance. And that is going to be one of my favorite books, you guys. I love this audio. Here it is. Olive and Oak by Aubree Pynn. You guys, this is the perfect segue into urban romance, you guys. My man is just getting out. He's starting over. He's really trying to do right. But every time you try to do right, you get pulled back in. They're pulling you back, baby. And then they send her bomb ass. Pume is so
Pume
bomb.
is that girl.
Pume is sexy. She's confident. She's got a little hood twist to her, but she's about her business, okay? And when you are down and you're really trying to get up, it's that's what you need. You need someone that is solid, someone that's gonna call you out on your mess. But you also need a man that is going to let you be soft. He is going to step in when he needs to and not wait for you to ask, okay?
While also respecting your gangster.
You guys, this is a perfect book for beginners because it's a part of a series. It opens up Aubree Pynn's world, so it's really good for you to get into the situation. It is on audio, and I felt like there were a lot of urban aspects to this story. It was also very loving. It was heavy on the family. It was heavy on the hood life, the streets, but it wasn't so much that you couldn't get through it as you're starting out. It's a very small book. It's not a lot, but she put a lot in this little story. So someone who's really looking just to get your feet wet, I think this is a perfect story.
Yes, that is a very good pick. Ironically enough, mine is a Gray Huffington book.
I love this story.
My Person by Gray Huffington, I think, is the perfect introduction to urban romance. Because you're getting that street life. He's a pharmacist. You're getting this sweet, cute, soft girl, which I think Gray Huffington writes like no other. And they have this cute meet cute. He's working all angles, got his feet through every door, and because of that aspect, you're getting the rugged streetness because he still is in them streets, but then he's also able to,
he can code switch.
Yeah, and do it so well and effortlessly that I think beginners need code switchers, right? Just because sometimes if you're not used to it or if it's new to you, some things can be a lot. It can be aggressive. And it's not the story. It's not the genre. It's with any genre, trope, subject, anything. If you're not used to something, it can come off as a lot. So with My Person, I think she did such a great job of mellowing it out, of mellowing you into it without taking away from the grittiness of the life. So I think My Person is just a fantastic story, and it was so romantic. She was able to be soft with him and safe and secure because protection, security, safety. When you feel safe in your relationship, nothing is off limits, and he did that, and I really like this story. Grey Huffington did her thing, and I think My Person by Grey Huffington is a great introductory to urban romance.
So too.
Let's get your final thoughts on urban, girl.
So, for me, when I think of urban romance, I just feel like the urban boys, they be lover boys. I don't know what it is.
They
about
do be lover boys.
They be lover boys. Like, don't get me wrong. They be ready to stand on big business and do what needs to be done. They don't care. But when it comes to you, baby, they have a different tone to their voice.
A voice only for you.
Baby, listen, it's something about an urban romance. I understand. And sometimes you be like, okay, no, he got me fucked up, right? But that's because you're not his one. Yeah. You're not his one. It's something about an urban romance that I feel like it's just black.
Yes.
And I love that. Like, I love that they're comfortable in their vernacular. They're comfortable in their sexuality. They're comfortable in the fact that the woman doesn't always have to be so quiet. You know, they can speak up for themselves, and they're still like, all right, she gonna talk her shit, but she gonna be in the bed later. She gonna be at home. I love it. It's literally one of my favorites.
I love it.
Okay, guys, we have come to our last genre of the night.
I know, y'all thought it was going to be dark romance, but as I stated, dark romance and urban romance, why categorized as different things, in my own opinion, are the same. So I thought to do a curveball and do sports romance. I discovered recently in the last few years that I actually really, really like sports romance. I don't care for sports in like my everyday life, so I didn't think I would care for sports romances, but I actually really love them because them ballers be the true lover boys. Okay, so to me, a sports romance obviously is a book where one of the main characters plays a sport.
Okay. I mean, yes, obviously, one of them playing sports, but it also, yeah, I guess that's kind of it, right? He plays a sport. They're usually aggressive the way I like them to be, but yeah, that's it, yeah.
So according to Google, sports romance is a subgenre of romance that combines the excitement of sports with the passion of a love story. It often features athletes as main characters and explores their personal lives and relationships, often alongside the pressures and challenges of their sports careers. We did that.
We make sense.
So this one was really hard for me to pick a book because I have so many that I feel like are good introductory, but also flirt with intermediate, you know, kind of things, just because of the other elements within the story. So I was like, you know what? Alexandra Warren Never Fails Me. Can't Catch Me by Alexandra Warren is a perfect beginner's guide to sports romances. Let me tell you why. My baby is going through it, okay? He is going through it. He is at a point in his career where he is very well known, very established, all the things. But even in that, there's uncertainty, you know? And I loved how Alexandra Warren explored that. And then also, sometimes in sports romances, the love interest is also someone famous. Sometimes they're not. And my favorite, if I'm going to be honest, that's not true because I also like when they're also famous. But I think right now, as I'm thinking, my favorite is when the person is not, just because I love to see how they navigate those streets and how the famous character makes their love interest feel safe and secure in all those lights. When you've been in the spotlight and things, you know what it's like. You know how you can trip and then knock into someone, break your arm, but they're going to say you dragged this person down. You know what I mean? Like how the media can warp a story, how there are people throwing themselves at the athlete just because they're famous, and how they make them feel secure. Like, baby, you know it's you forever. I love it. Okay? I actually really, really love sports romances. And I just loved also getting, which I didn't know that I would, getting to be in the athlete's head and to feel and experience their passion for the sport they play, their love for it. And sometimes, just like, I kind of fell into this and I'm good at it, so this is what I do. I love that. I love to get the grueling training at how they're tired, but they continue to push their bodies because this is their job. This is their passion. This is what they do. Baby, sports romances, okay, they do. And this one has the added effect of being a best friend to lovers trope. Well, best friends I'm just going to say it's the best friends to lovers trope, okay? And how communication is so important no matter what you're doing and on all aspects, and just the beauty of coming home and finding your place. I love it. Can't catch me. Alexandra Warren. Definitely recommend.
Okay, so mine is a little mixture of urban situations. I tend to find them, but it is a beginning situation, you guys, and that one is Under the Influence by Kimberly Brown. So the thing about this one that I feel like makes it introductory is if you're a person that doesn't truly like sports, but you like everything surrounding the sports player, then this is perfect for you, because she is a publicist and she's trying to help him clean up his image. She's trying to get him to where he needs to be. But because he's known as the problem child in the in the NFL, because he is like so popular, everybody always wants to kick it with him. Like, he's the life of the party. Like, yes, all the heifers want to flock to him, but he wants to do better because he's going to lose his endorsements if he don't get his shit together. Okay? So what I thought...
I love a good redemption comeback sports room. I gotta read that.
So I feel like what made...
This is added to my TBR.
I feel like what made this one so cool was it wasn't just heavy on sports. It was heavy on the image, the importance of you are a role model, not just for, if this is just a job for you, it's all about the money, then fine. But if this is about your brand, then you want to show kids you're someone to look up to. And I feel like that they did this really heavy and showed that just because you have shit going on in your life, it doesn't mean that you have to just spill it out to the world, right? Just throw shit everywhere. Like, you can be a good human and be going through shit. And I felt like she did such a good job at showing this. And baby, when I tell you he was applying pressure, he was applying pressure. Listen, he was like, I don't care that you don't believe in mixing business with pleasure. Baby, we gonna mix, okay? She gave up the good fight. She did what she could do. You guys, this story is really, really fun. I feel like it's a really good introduction to sports romance, because you are getting to go to training camps and you are getting to do certain things, but you're also getting to see the life of a PR. So I feel like it was a really good balance in between. So to me, this is the perfect intro to a sports romance.
Baby girl, you did that. I'm gonna read that. Like, you did that. You talking about me? That was good. I'm in love with him and I don't even know his name.
Baby.
Like, you did that.
Baby.
You did that. Under the Influence, I'm coming for you. She just said, forget what you're trying to do, the right thing with your TBR. I'm gonna read that.
It's on audio.
But yes, I love the fast-pacedness of sports romances. And like you said, there's so many different elements that go into like celebrity things, and I feel like sports room, there's the locker room, all those things. I didn't realize I would eat it up the way I do, and I do. That's why I love it. Okay. But the cleaning up your image, I love a bad boy trying to do right. Say less. What are your guys' thoughts on these tropes? And do you have any book recommendations that fall under either historical romance, contemporary, urban, or sports? Because I would like to read it.
That are for the beginners, because you're never too big in this reading game to start something, right? So please share it with us, because there might be things that I feel like, people, because I've read urban, they're like, she must already know this person. No, there's so many urban authors I don't know. There's so many different historical romance authors that I don't know. So please share them with me. I'm always on the hunt. I really would prefer them to be on audio, but if they're not, that's totally fine. But I'm always on the lookout for new authors. Please share them with me.
That is such a valid point, because as people, I feel like we think everyone knows who we know and knows what we know. And there's times when someone's like, I'm like, I don't know who that is. And they're like, what? Yes. Or I'll say a name and they're like, who? And I'm like, what? They got like 100 books. How have you not read them? You don't know. So that is a very good point.
So please share them. Yes.
We thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, ring a ding ding, and stay tuned for our intermediate selection. Bye, guys.